So I'm going to try and introduce this. Here we are for another creatively curious conversation.
Without chocolates.
I missed that, Sarah. Can you repeat that?
Without chocolates.
Oh, without chocolates.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, we can talk about Hotel Chocolat. It's really good news that you got your new qualification. Tell us all
Yes.
about it.
It is an extension of my being a natural mindfulness guide. So I am a natural mindfulness guide. I've done the training in it. And now I have done, I'm now a trained forest bathing practitioner. Therapy practitioner is giving it its proper name, but it's taking forest bathing to a new level where I don't only guide people in the forest to do natural mindfulness, I can also give them the deeper forest bathing experience that will take that natural mindfulness into a deeper space. So it's really lovely. It's about doing natural mindfulness, but one idea is to find a sit spot. They call it a sit spot, and if you can find somewhere close to home or where you regularly walk and sit down at the base of a tree, try and make it at the base of a tree and just sit down. And this was a part of my natural mindfulness anyway, but you really sit down and just pay close attention to everything that's in front of you and let everything else go, including your writing, including your health, all of these things that maybe are filling up your head. Just let all that go, let it sit beside you, and focus only on what's exactly in front of you. And then ask yourself, how does this make me feel? When you see a butterfly flying past and you think, how does this make me feel? Or what does this remind me of?
This is really interesting because that's how I work as well. Like, how
Yeah.
does this make you feel? I don't work with nature specifically, but how do you feel when you think about food or when you think about pain, or how's it from the inside rather than looking externally from the inside? How is that really making you feel? Because we've lost the art of that. I just wanted to ask, what is natural mindfulness? Is it natural as in nature, or?
It's going out into nature and doing exactly what I just said, paying attention to what's in front of you. So we could do, if I take clients out into the forest or onto the beach, somewhere natural, we do little exercises like mindful walking. So that's where you walk and you just put your one foot in front of the other and walk as slow as you possibly can. And while you're doing that, you're naturally drawn to paying attention to what's in front of you, the colour of the leaves on the tree, the difference of greens that you're seeing, what does the sky look like? And then forest bathing takes it that step further, where you're bringing it into within, where you're saying, how am I feeling? How does this make me feel? What does it make me think of? Why is it reminding me of this? And then more natural mindfulness is just about, you could put your hand up in the air and feel the breeze on your hand. And then you ask yourself, does it feel different on the back than it does on the front?
Yes.
And pay attention to that. And it really just helps you be mindful while you're out in nature. And when you're being mindful, you're allowing your brain and your creativity your brain to quiet and your creativity to come to the forefront, to allowing it to thrive. If you're doing this regularly, your creativity gets a chance to breathe. And that's important if you're writing a book or if you're doing anything creative. And it's also important for your health. More people are familiar with nature for health and well-being, but they think that a walk in nature is enough. They think that a run with their headphones on listening to their favourite music is enough. They think that sitting and having a picnic is nice, but you're chatting away and you're having a great time, and that's all good. We also need quiet time. We need to give our brain, especially now because the world is chaotic and we're all becoming chaotic, I would suggest. Your brain just needs that quiet time, not just for your health and well-being, but also for your purpose, for who you are, for who you want to become. It really needs that time to sit back and
Mm,
allow the answers to come. And it's not that nature gives you the answers, it just gives you the space to sit, and the answers will come, not from nature, but from yourself, from within you. Like you
from
were
within.
asking me the other day about how does that make you feel? And you have to really think about it. You're right.
Yeah.
We don't ask ourselves these questions at all. And
No.
the answer doesn't always come immediately. But
And so, yeah.
the sensations where you're saying about, and everybody says about it's not pain, it's sensations, and try and see it as a sensation. And I find that really difficult. Even though I can do natural mindfulness, even though I've got the forest bathing, and even though I know how to quiet my mind, I really find it difficult to investigate myself in that
Mm,
way and to think about pain or sensation, pain as a sensation and be curious about it when it's painful. That's
mhm.
really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you can describe what you're feeling, then there's a better chance that somebody understands what you're going through. Whereas otherwise it's all internal. And it's a similar process to the releasing your creativity. It's just understanding what you're feeling, not necessarily why or how, but understanding and acknowledging what you're feeling. So I just to illustrate the point, I've put my fan on and I can feel, I see bits of my parts of my hair. I can feel the breeze and I can feel that it's cooler on one side than on the other side. I can feel now I can feel it more on fingers and fingers. Yes, we can rationalize it by saying it's because the fan's on. But what happens if you're feeling these things and the fan isn't on? Then what's going on?
Yeah.
And it's the same with creativity, isn't it? We like writing I was going to say writing a book, but it could be poetry because you're talking about writing, what is it, haiku poetry?
Yeah, a book of haiku on the islands. That's yeah.
Islands of
I'm now
Scotland.
committed to a book of haiku. I've been biting my tongue and only saying it to myself because I don't know if it's possible to write a book of haiku while I'm on the islands. But I really want to get a sense of the islands, the Outer Hebrides, how it feels to be there for me. Now that you've got me thinking about that, how it feels to live there, or how it feels to just live on an island, and get that sense of haiku is all about experience, which is what Write Wild is all about. It's about the experience of writing, and as well as the process and the craft. And so I want this haiku is really good to learn as a writer because it almost is natural mindfulness or forest bathing. It's about sitting and writing down exactly what you're seeing and how
Yeah,
that's making you feel. So it's
that's,
exactly the
yeah.
same, isn't it?
Yes. And it's just reminded me, I knew somebody who was a graphic designer, and he always used to talk about colours and how we see colours. And he would say, that's blue or that's green or that's, and I would say, that looks grey to me. And he says, you have to look at the detail of the
Mm,
colour. And that's what you've just been talking about, the different shades of green. So now when I look at trees, I see different shades of green, different shades of yellow, different shades of black. Sometimes when you look at a tree and it might be partially in shade and it's the colour is actually black or a very dark grey. And
yeah.
then you only start to understand that when you really, when I say really look at something, I mean you look at it and you look at things in detail.
Yeah, with your full attention. And it's
Yes,
also good practice. To be a writer, you have to be absorbed in your writing project. So whatever you're writing, and sometimes it takes writers a long time to sit at their desk, and it could be half an hour before they get into the flow. We call it flow, but I call it absorption, almost fantasy proneness. It's a kind of everything, the whole world just collapses and disappears, dissolves into nothing because you're in
time
this
doesn't
space.
exist.
And that's the level of mindfulness that you want to achieve when you're in nature. And as a writer, it helps not just to empty your mind and allow your creativity to die, it helps you find that level of absorption so that when you come to your desk, you're not sitting for half an hour to an hour writing rubbish or not writing at all, waiting to get into the flow. You are instantly in the flow. So I did a study between writers and non-writers when I was at university, and there's different ways of, they have different ways of learning, and we can capitalize on that, use that as writers to heal our bodies in nature and write really good, meaningful books. And
Wow.
meaningful books are really important just now because how many books out there are going to be written by AI? We want books written by human beings. And not I am a supporter of AI. I love it. I use it for business needs. But for writing a book, it might help with outlining, might help with writing a synopsis. But really, the book itself, we want it to be meaningful. We want it to say exactly what you set out to say. And you might not even know what you set out to say because what you think you're setting out to say might not be, in the end, what you
Yeah.
end up saying. Yeah,
The
it's
interesting,
all
yeah, the
comes
interesting
together.
thing is it's also we want to feel. You're helping me with my book at the moment, and I know that there are certain aspects that I've written before when I got the idea, and I wrote that, and I wrote it from a logical place.
Yeah,
But then now it's starting to, if I read it back, I think that doesn't sound like me, and it doesn't feel right, or it's not engaging, it's a bit dull, it's a bit boring, and it needs changing. And so the idea is still there, but there's an overlay of humanness
yeah,
that we need to impart to our writing. And I guess when you write your haiku poetry, it won't just be from a bullet point list of things to do. There'll be a bit of Sarah's passion in there, a bit of your essence, if you like.
really, I'm not a poet, but it's really just any kind of writing. It's just about bringing yourself to the page. Fiction, non-fiction, memoir. It's about really taking the time to get to that point where you're giving yourself to the words. And I know a lot of poets do this anyway. My poetry professor that I had when I was studying for my MA, he used to say that a poet is never happy. A poet will only be happy when they're dead. And I couldn't get my head around, he is dead now, bless him, but he was such a wonderful teacher. But I did feel for him to have that approach on his work. And I think it's unnecessary because I just feel it's unnecessary. But what was very necessary about him was that he went into homes of people who had dementia and he would sit and have them write poetry. And they would
Oh,
write
wow.
poetry about their lives, lives that they couldn't remember. And they would be there on the spot talking about how amazing it was to have this memory through poetry. And it was just magic. So for all that approach to writing poetry may be a bit, for me, a bit odd or necessary. I think he was a very good poet and very with a very kind heart and did a lot of
Mm.
good work. But I can't even, I've lost the thread of this conversation again. I do this all the time. But I am going to
I
go
don't think it matters. I really don't
right.
think it matters.
Haiku. I'm studying it. It is about, I picture this romantic me sitting on the beach with my notebook and writing exactly what is there, being on this place, on this beach, on this island. But I have heard that it's freezing right now, that the sea is freezing. And so I now am not packing summer clothes, I'm packing winter jumpers. Well, you lot are having a heat wave.
He waved down here.
Some of
But
my
you are
clients
in
are flying
Scotland.
off to warmer climes. So yeah.
So a thought crossed my mind then about, I don't know whether we can answer this, about mindfulness and meditation. So sometimes people talk about the two. I see them as different activities. That's a good way of describing it. So mindfulness, you're aware of your surroundings, you're aware of what you're doing, not necessarily the whys or the hows, but it's about awareness. And meditation appears to be a seated or a maybe lying down, or most people sit, I think, or as long as they're comfortable, and they just go inwards.
Mhm.
Whereas mindfulness almost is about externalizing, being aware of your circumstances, your situation.
I agree. Yeah, mindfulness is an external process that comes from within though. So you can be going about your day and try to be as mindful as possible for the day. It's not possible because we're human and our minds go all over the place. But when you're being mindfulness, you're bringing yourself and your body into the moment. Say you're eating chocolate. I mean, I watch my husband eat chocolate and it's like, or even he eats like the dog. Did you even taste that? I'll say. Whereas if you take a square of chocolate and just eat it very slowly and think about the chocolate while you're eating it, that's a whole different experience and it's wonderful. And it brings you into this moment. It makes your body feel safe and you're allowing yourself that moment of release.
Yes,
So I
it
used to think
reminds.
that mindful eating was hilarious when years ago when they talked about mindful eating, I was thinking this is just weird what they're talking about. But
Did
now
you do
I
the lemon?
practice it all the time. No, I did the lemon with my granddaughter when she was actually Mike did it first. We gave her a little bit of lemon. I am trying to teach the dog mindfulness, but it's not going well. I almost had
That's.
a meditating last night. Meditating for me is within, is in you go inwards and the world is just there, but you're focusing inwards and you're trying to reach a new depth within yourself every time you meditate. I'm
Mm.
trying to teach that to the dog. And he likes a head massage. But when we're out, he's not interested in anything like that. So
The first time I've heard a dog meditating.
oh,
You in my head are amazing.
it's hard to do forest bathing when you're out with the dog and the dog just wants to keep going. He's like Forrest Gump. He just wants to keep going forward. Doesn't even care
Mm.
where he's going. He's just no,
Mm.
have to no, don't stop. And starts barking and you can't do anything when the dog's bark. But it isn't going well, which is a shame.
So
Mhm.
I think that's a good time to wrap up, Sarah. Trying to keep these to around about 20 minutes, and I think we've come to a natural conclusion, which is always good.
What did we conclude? That we're going to practice more mindfulness and meditation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're going to teach dogs to meditate.
Yes. I have done a little course called the trust technique, which is for dogs. It's worth looking up. There's a guy, can't remember the name off the top of my head. He's really amazing. He works with horses and tigers and has them just sit with him.
Mm.
It's just amazing to see. There's a video on YouTube. Go and watch it. I did his course. Didn't work on people.
Oh, so maybe next time.
Yeah. Okay, good. I think that's a conclusion.
It,
Mindfulness,
it's a wrap.
meditation. It's a wrap. Okay. See you next
Bye
time.
bye.
Bye.